Hey guys, welcome back to the Bass Tutor. My name is Tyler Fry and I'm the Bass Tutor. So guys, here we are. It's Monday again, which means we're back to the beginner bassing series here on the YouTube channel. Last week I took a little break and because it was tournament week, and I wanted to show you some tournament footage. That way Friday I could go over the tournament. If you haven't seen those videos, I'll link those down below and you go check them out. It was my first kayak tournament, and while I didn't get first place, you know, it was an interesting experience and I'm excited to be able to do it again. And then the next video, I talk about what I did wrong, what I could have done better, just to help you guys out and help myself in the future. So, with that being said, guys, it's summertime and it is getting tough out there on the water, or at least where I live anyway. You know, it's not taking a lot to win these tournaments around here because the fishing is just simply tough. Nighttime and daytime has been pretty tough here recently. The fish are in this transition period where it's getting close to fall, but it's also the dog days of summer, so they're not really eating the way they should. I went fishing this morning to try to make a video for Friday, and it just didn't pan out. The fish just weren't biting. Had one fish all day, so it's just, you know, it's really tough, and wasn't able to get a video out of it. But I'm not going to let that get us down, and we're not missing an upload. It's Monday, so you're getting a video. And what better video to do than one of my favorite finesse techniques? The drop shot is typically looked at as a wintertime lure for finesse fishing. However, it's one of my favorite summertime finesse fishing lures or rigs whenever everything gets tough. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to rig it up. I'm going to show you some of my favorite baits to use in the summertime on a drop shot. Then later in a few months, whenever it's wintertime and we're all stuck in our houses because it snowed us in or whatever the case may be, I'll go over my top favorite wintertime drop shot lures. So let's jump on into this video, guys. So the first thing I want to do is I want to show you how to rig it up just in case you don't know how to. So the first thing you're going to do is I'm going to talk about my setup just real quick, real vaguely. Anything you need, I'll have it linked down in the description. It'll take you straight to Bass Pro Shops. You click the link, buy it, you're good to go. But with that being said, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I use. Personally, I use a Shimano Stradic Fk spinning reel. It's a 6-speed reel, so it's pretty fast. It's able to catch up with those fish pretty quickly, and it's really quick for a spinning reel. And I pair it up with a Alx Zolo Diplomat. That's a 6'10", I believe, medium light action drop shot rod. And it's, you know, it's phenomenal. I mean, it's really great. You know, whenever you're fishing a drop shot, you really want to be able to feel everything on the bottom and feel every little bite. And, you know, I don't know that I've missed too many fish with that rod because of the simple sensitivity of it. And then whenever I pair it up with Power Pro Braid, I can feel everything down there. So, I use the 6'10" medium light rod. You can do a 6'9", or a 7 foot, but I probably wouldn't go 7 foot. That's just my preference. I like the shorter rod, but it's completely up to you. And a medium light to a medium action rod will do just fine. A lot of people actually throw it on bait casters. I'm not one of them, but you know, if that's what you're into, you know, you could probably find you a good medium or medium light bait casting rod and throw it on there and have you a good high-end bait caster that'll sling the drop shot out there. A lot of your cheaper made ones, it's going to be a lot tougher to, your cheaper made reels, but you can do it. Anyway, we got off track. So, I use 10-pound Power Pro High Vis Yellow. I like the High Vis Yellow because I'm able to see any bite that happens. I'll tell you a quick story. This was a really key thing one time when I was fishing Pickwick in a national championship. And we were paralleling this structure, and we were holding ourselves off of it and casting to this structure. Well, when you would cast to this thing, the fish were suspended above the bottom. I'm wanting to say it was like 25 foot of water, but the fish were suspended in like 10 to 15. So what would happen is I would take my drop shot and I would throw it right up against that thing as close as I could get to that structure. And as it would fall down, those fish would hit it before it hit the bottom. So I kind of got into the rhythm of I would watch my line, but I was also counting it. So this will be a good tip for you if you're ever drop shot fishing. Always watch your line, that's a given. And also, whenever you cast to a piece of structure, leave your bail open if you want it to fall vertical. If you want it to, you know, if it If you don't, it'll come back toward you a little bit. So if you want it to fall right where it's at, leave your bail up and let the line freely come out of your spool. Just a quick tip. However, what I was doing is I was leaving my bail open, but I was counting. I knew that it took, I'm wanting to say it was like 12 seconds or 13 seconds, something like that, to hit the bottom. And I would count. And if I watched my line and it stopped at any point between 13 seconds, I automatically reeled down and set the hook. Didn't matter if I thought there was a fish on there or not, because a lot of the time I thought there wasn't fish, and what was happening is they would come up, they were suspended, that drop shot would come near them, and they would hit it and run out with it. Well, I wasn't feeling the bite because they were knocking slack into the braid. You know, braid is super, super sensitive unless it's not on a tight line. So I was able to watch that high vis yellow braid, and I was able to see it stop whenever they were getting to a certain point. But if it would fall all the way to the bottom, I would work it a little bit, not much, reel it back up, and I would do it again. And I kept covering the structure, and that ended up working 2 days in a row for us. The first day was a lot better than the second, but you know, that's just how Pickwick is. It's a tough fishery if you ever fished it. So that's a really key thing, is using that high vis yellow, in my opinion. Then I tie it off to a fluorocarbon leader. I always tie on a leader. I don't ever throw a drop shot on straight braid. That's just me. Some people do, but I don't. 8 to 6 pound test fluorocarbon is usually where I'll stay. I don't want to get any lighter usually, but you know, I don't want to get any higher either unless I absolutely have to. So 8 to 6 pound test is where I want to stay. So if you've never rigged up a drop shot, I'm going to show you how to rig it up right here on straight braid, just so you're able to see it. But typically what you would do is you would take your braid and tie it to your fluorocarbon using an FG or an Alberto knot or something like that, some kind of connection knot. I'll have a video coming up soon of how to do it, but if you're needing to do it right now, there's a lot of great YouTubers that cover that, and they'll really get you hooked up. So the first thing you're going to do whenever you're tying on a drop shot is you want to hook. Now, I prefer a Nico style hook. I don't know why, I just like it better. It sticks out, it tends to stay straight a lot better than the other ones. But there are other drop shot hooks like this one right here. And you know, those work just great too. I use those sometimes, but typically it's going to be a Nico hook. So all we're doing right here is we're going to tie a Palomar knot. So we're going to run our line right through the eye of the hook. We're going to bring it back through the opposite way, but we're going to hold our line on this side. So both sides are holding it. We're going to tie an overhand knot. Then we're going to run our hook through that loop, wet it, and pull it tight. Now what I like to do is I like to run my line back through one more time, down through this way. That way it'll make your drop shot straight. Your drop shot will always be straight with that line like that. So it'll look just like that. And now we're going to tie on the weight. A lot of people won't tie it on, but I prefer to tie a loop knot on it. That way it'll break pretty easy if I have to have it to, but it's not going to just slip off. So just like this, 1 and 2. And you pull it tight. Now that we got our loop knot tied on there, we're going to cut off the tag end. And it's going to look just like that. So now that we know what to throw it on, we know how to tie it on, now let's get into a few of my favorite summertime drop shot baits. I'd say my top favorite is a little worm like this. It's basically like a Zoom trick worm. This one is actually a Bama Baits. I'm not sure what they call this one, but it's just a little Bama Baits worm. Another one is the Zoom version of it, and this is a little disco violet color. This is a really good smallmouth color in clear water. I really like throwing it. Then I also like throwing a shad profile bait, something like this Zoom Super Fluke or this little shad imitator bait right here. This is great in clear water, and this is, you know, you can use this one in a little bit more stained water, but you won't want to use it in dirty water. So guys, that's how you tie on a drop shot and what I like to use it on. You can go out there and you can grab these fish in the summertime, and they're super easy to catch if you can get on them good. You can find them on the graph and drop to them, or you can just go cast this thing and just drag it around. And a lot of times you'll find those schools. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave me a like and a subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you want to see next week. Thanks for watching, and make sure to get out there and wet a line.